Wave the Swallow rode on her extreme gearboard as the wind flew through her feathers. The gentle breeze had always had a way of soothing her. She liked going out riding during her days off of working with Jet and Storm. Most of the time, she made a promise to visit Tails in about 10 minutes, not wanting to lose track of time or be distracted. She rode her way on their extreme gearboard, heading towards Green Hill. She knew where Tails' wood shop would be, and while the two did have a rivalry in the past few days in the Riders' days, Wave can't help but share a lot of common with Tails. With that being said, having some same interest in fixing things, tech, and gadgets, the two went from rivals in the past to having a very close bonding friendship after all those years. Tails was just finishing up his work in the wood workshop, fixing his X-Tornado plane, making sure it's well worked for next time if he were to fly it again with Sonic. He then remembered Wave was going to visit him, so he finished up as quickly as he could before getting ready to head out. Soon as Tails walked out, he saw Wave riding ever so amazingly on her extreme gearboard. Her long feathers on her head blew gorgeously in the wind. She then came to a land as she lifted her goggles up from her head, coming to a direct eye contact with the yellow two-tailed fox in front of her. "Sorry I'm late," Wave said apologetically. "Oh no, not at all. You're here on time," Tails replied. "I just got finished up in my wood workshop." "Cool," Wave replied. "So anywhere you want to hang out? Somewhere peaceful?" "The forest sounds good," Tails replied. Wave got on her extreme gearboard. "Alright, hang on, kid," she said. Tails hopped on her back as they took off into the quiet, peaceful forest. Upon arriving, Wave and Tails landed down next to a large tree before laying down on the grass next to each other, staring into the clear blue skies as the sun beamed down on them like a heaven's light. "So what have you been doing lately?" Tails asked the purple swallow, who had her hands behind her head, relaxing. "Meh, same stuff," Wave replied. "Always having to work business with Jet and Storm, as we Babylon rogues always do. Winning races, you get the whole thing," she sighed. "What about you? Anything new with you and Sonic and the rest?" "Same thing with us too," Tails replied. "Always on an adventure, not the same though since Eggman retired." "How he retired?" "It's about time," Wave said with a chuckle. "Guess he had enough of Sonic and the rest of you, huh?" Tails chuckled. "Yeah, but it does feel different ever since. I'm trying to do other things for Sonic, like take him out on more adventures with me so he doesn't get bored. At the same time, though, we feel free and at peace of not having to deal with Eggman and his army of bad ninks anymore." "Must be grateful for that," Wave replied. "It's best for you both not having to deal with that nuisance ever again. It may feel like fun taking him down in so many times, but at first, when he just never stopped, it usually gets utterly annoying and tiresome." "Yeah, you got a point," Tails replied. "He has been nothing but a headache for us all after all." Tails then looked up at the tree. As he did so, he started to have memories. Wave closed her eyes, slowly inhaling and exhaling through her nostrils, taking in the nice smell of fresh air to nature Green Hill. Tails suddenly got up, approaching the tree ever so slowly. Memories hit him at the time of many ages ago where he met Cosmo and had a very close relationship with her before she sacrificed herself to defeat the Matriarchs. Tails still remembers Cosmo, the Seedren, and still remembered this tree where her spirit lives. Tails slowly placed a hand on the bark of her ears, lowering. Wave opened one eye and looked at Tails with a pain of sympathy entering her for a bit. "You okay, kid?" Wave asked with a bit of concern. "Yeah, sorry, Tails paused before explaining. "This tree, I had a great friend a long time ago. We were very close, but this happened when me and Sonic and the others were on a mission to outer space to defeat these guys called the Metrorax, and this friend I had, her name was Cosmo. She was a Seedren, and we had a lot of fun times together, until she sacrificed herself to defeat the Metrorax, and she became the spirit of this tree we're both standing by right now." Tails slowly closed his eyes as tears welled up in his eyes. Wave took another quick notice in Tails' shaky voice. Feeling sympathy He lurched up in her chest. She's never seen Tails cry before, and that pains her. All those years of rivalry ages ago, she felt bad for how hard she was on him all those years ago. And this was the first time she's seen him cry, grieving for a friend he once cared about, until she had to do what was right, even though it was a hard choice, but it had to be done. Tails hitched through his breaths, and quiet sobs escaped his throat. Tears heavily ran down his white furred cheeks. I miss her so much, and still do. If only she could hear me, and know how much I still cared for her. Wave very gently put her hand on Tails' shoulder. Tails, she spoke calmly. Tails turned to look at Wave through her tear-streaked eyes. Wave put her other hand on Tails' tear-stained white fur cheek, slowly wiping away his tears. I'm so sorry. I had no idea about this until you told me. She seems nice, she spoke calmly, but I'm sure she'll always be watching over you, and will know how much you meant a lot to her. Wave then very gently wrapped Tails into an embrace, pulling him into a hug. Tails accepted her embrace, burying his face into her feathery chest. Now I get why you picked Forest. I'm starting to understand you better now. Tails, Wave said, no longer referring to him as kid or kiddo for now. I'm sorry you had to see me crying, Tails said. Wave just gently lifted Tails' chin up, making him have direct eye contact with her. Don't be, she replied. You cared for her a lot. You have been there for her before her last day, and stuck by her even through hard times. It's okay to grieve. It shows how much of a good friend you are, and that you have a caring heart. Never stop doing that, even for me, and I promise I'll stick by you no matter what. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. Tails smiled warmly at Wave's honest words. It made him feel better at the slightest. This was someone who is rival of his, actually showing how much she cares and appreciates him as a friend. Maybe more than that, as he and Wave had a very close bond due to having the same things in common. Thank you, Tails softly replied with a sniffle, before hugging Wave again, to which she accepted the hug, pulling him close to her. Of course, she replied. There's a possibility of the fox and the swallow having a forever friendship. As they get older, maybe their friendship will become something more that will change their future in a good way. Even Cosmo, who watches over, would be proud of Tails on how far he has come and accomplished. And that, my pretties, was The Fox and the Swallow, a Sonic fanfiction written by King Herman the Wise. Now, I really do have to say this was actually a really, really good story. I mean, it's a bit sad, it's showing, basically talks about the death of, Cosmo. Basically Tails explains that, his close friend was Cosmo at the time until she sacrificed herself. So anybody who's watched Sonic or knows about the Sonic lore probably knows about what happened to Cosmo. I definitely do have to say is that I can honestly see this being the case. It's really well done. I mean, I could picture this actually happening. So, Herman, I really have to say this was a really awesome story. You did a very good job. I personally really enjoyed it. I thought it was really neat, well done. It was just a fantastic story. You did really good on writing this. So, and as always, the grammar was good, which is something I really appreciate, and the sentence structuring, everything about it was just flat out amazing. So, yeah, I guess with that being said, and that being the case, I'm going to sit here and say right now, um, yeah, this is simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with it, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these stories. This is simply my own personal thoughts. I'm going to give this story a 10 out of 10. It's a really good Sonic story. I personally love it. I thought it was really well done. It's amazing. It's really well written, and it's really well put together, which is something. And I really appreciate, the good grammar and stuff, which I'm really glad for. So there's that. I definitely do enjoy this story. I thought it was really neat. It's sweet too. Like, it's a pretty good story. So anyways, with that being said, what did you guys personally think of this story? Did you all enjoy it? Did you all not? Also, what you have done personally helped make this story a lot better. Feel free to let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm Shadow the Lion Queen. Thank you so much for watching today's video. And if you're new to my channel, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications to any uploads. That way you guys will not miss an upload. As always, if you guys want to go follow me on my media like Instagram, Steam, Twitter, DeviantArt, Blue Sky, etc., follow me on those so you guys can get updates from me. As always, I will be catching you all in the next video. Peace out, and like always, roll the outro because I'm out. What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Ms. Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please stay pretty.